We got a really great show for y'all. But before we hop in, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Long Beach Comedy, which takes place at Harvell's in downtown Long Beach, California, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have award-winning dancers, celebrity drop-ins. You never know who's going to be there, but I'll tell you who will be there. Me, your boy, Victor Pacheco, every single second and fourth Tuesday of the month with new material. So come and check me out. Come and check out the shows. Hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome to Papicock Podcast with your host, Victor Pacheco. We got a really special show for y'all today with a very special guest. You've seen her on RENO, 911, WORKAHOLICS, The Wedding Crashers, and she was one of the original Pussycat dolls. Why don't you give it up real big for Miss Rachael Sterling?
That's a great intro.
What's up? Yeah,
that's really good.
Well, you're a great guest to have, and I'm very honored to have you because I saw you live last Friday at the Ha Ha Comedy Club for the best damn Latino comedy show. And I was just like, holy shit, Rachel's on the show. That's awesome. Holy shit, Rachel's Latino.
It came as a shock to me too. I know.
So what type? I mean, if I remember correctly, it was Texas, but so is that like Tejano Mexican?
Okay, so the long story with that. One, I'm related to half the state of Texas. So like all the states of Texas, like all of it. My mom's like the youngest. I can't remember if it's 14 and then some adopted ones, or if it's 17 total. I don't know.
Yeah, that's Mexican.
My brother had a uterus like a hula hoop, just like throwing them out. That's a lot of fucking kids. And all of my aunts, they start young, and they don't just like get pregnant. They get married young. They start young, and it's very normal to have 6 kids, 8 kids, which I think should be outlawed personally. That's like that's not okay. And then my mom, she just like, you know, she didn't have a fun time because she was the youngest, and her parent, my grandma, I don't think my grandmother spoke English. So it was just kind of like my aunts raised her. And then in the 70s and the 60s and 70s, I guess it wasn't cool to be brown. So like it is now. So she had a hard time. And her logic was she would move me out to California, do everything she could so I could go to La Jolla High School out there, and my life would be easier. So that was her plan.
Nice. La Jolla is nice part of San Diego.
Well, she wasn't wrong. Some pretty kush, you know.
No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful out there.
It's so nice. Yeah. It's
yeah.
Super nice. I got robbed of my culture though. That's the only thing. Like I do remember some stuff from Texas, and then obviously, you know, you can't fight heredity. Like there's just some shit that's just in your DNA. And then, you know, and then I shot a lot for Esteban Oriol, who does a lot of like car culture and the life and stuff like that. So whenever I'd have real like auditions, you know, because they expected me to just turn on the Latino like that, and like you can just learn Spanish in one day, right? I'm like, no, no, you don't want me to. It's insulting. Yeah. You know, I'll butcher it. I would
no, it's not insulting for you to make an attempt.
It's insulting for them to have to listen to it. But like
to some people it is, but for a lot of people it's like you're making the effort, and it's just and it's just like it's so culture. We're so proud of our Mexican culture.
It's fine.
No, I mean
I did actually speak Spanish, so I can't even use that. He does it. He's so amazing. But yeah, so I would call Esteban and his wife and ask them, what does this mean? What does that mean? I didn't know it. I'm like, what is this word? And I think the word was paisa, and I had never heard it before.
Oh, paisa? Yeah. Like that's short for paisano. But it's derogatory, like you fucking paisa. Like you don't speak English, you paisa. Or like,
what's equivalent to English?
Paisa would be like you non-English talking beaner. So when you call somebody a beaner, you just mean they're Hispanic. But in this case, it would be that they don't speak the Spanish language. So it's like a little specific. It's so weird though, because like
you know, in a script, and I'm like, what is this word? And said, maybe that's why she laughed. She said, well, she didn't really care to tell me what it meant. She's like, this is just how you pronounce it. And she's so you know, and I don't know if they're still together or not, but she was just so like, she should have looked this part. You know what I mean? She was just that very vibrant. You know, she had the accent, the whole thing, the eyeliner, like it was amazing. And so
Next,
I would give her the thing, like, can you just voice note it to me? And I would just listen. I would just, if I can just copy her for the audition.
next time they want you to jump into being super Mexican, just be like, do you have a razor and a Sharpie? That's it.
That's funny.
You just shave off your eyebrows, which I know you're not going to do, but I mean, if it was like maybe for like a skit that you knew was going to go viral, you might do it and be like, you know what? Fuck you, okay, man? I don't need to think. But I mean, if you really wanted to, because like, you know, it's with the acting and with, you know, with the stand-up, it's just like we're acting on stage. Like, you know, my dad asked me, what's your act about? I'm like, I act like I'm not depressed. That's what I do.
We all do. We're all just holding it together, aren't we?
Right. You know, and it was cool because like, you know, we got to do that show at the Ha Comedy Club.
We had Oprah times. It was like we were on the couch.
It was what was funny.
Like, we're having deep conversations. I keep doing it. Sorry, my Botox is off and it hurts.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. You're like me.
There's a line that goes deep into my soul.
Ah.
Like wherever your craw is, it's in there and it hurts. Like hurts really bad.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. I think that you're very photogenic and very picturesque. So it's like, you know, if you were trying to impress me, you got my seal of approval.
I keep doing this. It's not you. You're not. I was just like,
no. I know what you're saying. But no. It was funny. I remember you made a joke. You're just like, I don't want to burn your material, but it was fucking funny about how. No. It was just one thing that was just. I was like, okay, she's funny as fuck. When you said that, I was like, I don't do drugs. I do Botox. I'm not gonna fucking ruin that. And like, and I was dying. I was like, oh yeah, because like I call it the face Olympics. You know, when you're just, you know, doing drugs, and you know, your face is going all these different directions and stuff. So it's just like, of course, you're not going to be doing any of that stuff. So it's like,
I mean, it's a waste of money, and here's why: is because you, because I'll tell you, viewers, I have raging ADD, really, really bad, and I wasn't taking my medication for years, like absolute years.
Oh Jesus!
I had it under control, and I think when everything's really like normal shit, I'm like, I have a nervous breakdown. Like, let's say a bomb drops right here. I'm the first person like, okay, we're gonna pick these up. We're gonna make a wall. We're gonna put the dirt over there. Like, I'm just very like chaos. I'm cool with. If it's fast paced or even if it's like inconvenient to me, it's still like the job gets done. But with the normal mundane things, my head explodes. Like, I'm like, I don't know how to do this. And I procrastinate, I don't do it and all this other stuff. But during the pandemic, my ADD just got so fucking out of hand because I had nothing to do. I mean, I was doing stuff. I was still doing comedy. I was dance classes. It was like, I was used to doing stand-up auditions and I ran a business and I had, dramatic people. I recently just clipped all these bitches, so I don't have the chaos, I guess, or the
drama.
Yeah, so now there's nothing to like do this to, like leapfrog your attention to. So now if I'm just trying to get like today I was like redoing my resume because it's like pilot season's gonna come again, and I'm just like, why is it taking me so long to do something that should take 10 minutes? And it was driving me nuts. Or even during the, like when I started stand-up's fine. Nothing ever hurts on stage, right? You're always fine stand up. And then somehow you develop a personality and you're not dying inside when people come up to talk to you. That's why they think you're nice. But like otherwise you're like, at least I have to talk to people before I come in. I kind of sneak in. And people are like, oh, I was waiting for you. I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk to me before I get on stage. Like,
girl,
I have a personality of an earthworm before I go on stage. Like,
no, you don't.
Other comics,
and God.
It, and not too much. Like, it's just like it's very rarely do we have a moment, like an Oprah moment is rare. So that's I think why my boyfriend came in. Oh my God, she's being nice and talking.
it was funny because we both were involved in a really deep conversation about the importance of mental health
Yes.
And it was
Everyone
such a
kept coming
deep,
in,
and it
"Oh,
was funny because outside looking in, it was like, oh, Victor's trying to shoot his shot. I'm like, yeah, right in front of her boyfriend, right? At any rate, so it's just like, no,
I
I'm
think
just
Jack, and he was like, "Whoa, you guys are getting deep in here." I don't know
yeah,
what
I was just like, we're talking about mental health.
therapy session.
Sorry, you know,
Right?
it's just
Therapy session. Yes.
you know what? But like just saying that we're having a conversation about mental health, it was, I mean, that's enough to scare people. Like, oh, they're doing something positive in their lives that's going to change and like hopefully some good will come out of it. Well, that's
Or
scary.
they think I'm raised so white that I'm trying to get you to shove a crystal up your ass because I'm like, it'll be fine. Crystal up your ass and you sage and it'll be fine.
Listen, if I wanted to have a crystal shoved up my ass, I would date a white girl, you know, with the healing powers of the crystals and all this. And I'm just like, I don't know.
I don't do it.
I'm not
I'm
mocking
really
it. I just don't understand it.
You know what it is I'm open to anything, but I can't put all my eggs in one basket with that. And also, well, I'm going to stop so I don't have an ADD moment. Going back to the conversation we were having before, I was saying that the reason I didn't take I couldn't form a sentence after like we started going back more from COVID, and like my brain would be doing stuff, my motor skills weren't working. I'm like, this is not good. Like, what if I have to go back into the workforce? This is not good. Like, this is bad. I have to be able to talk to people and sound somewhat coherent. So I had to go back my medication. And the doctor's like, why are you making life hard? Like, just it has to be in your system. And she explained, she's like, it's not, because I was looking at it like beers. I was looking at the milligrams, like a drink, 2 drinks. Like, whoa, that's like a lot, or like a line of Coke. You know what I mean? Like that, not 4 lines. And she's like, no, it's not like that, because what it is your brain doesn't produce the right amount of dopamine. So you're constantly seeking. It's like you're parched and you're looking for water, and you're just like, and you're constantly looking for like a fix, which is why a lot of people that have ADD self-medicate and drink and do drugs and stuff like, because it's like the thrill, or go to like bad relationships because it's like that, I'm alive, you know, I'm dead, I'm alive.
Yeah.
So there's that. And my answer was, I'm like, because it metabolizes my Botox out of my face.
Oh, that's fucked up. Like, okay,
so I'm that vain. I was like, it's because like I don't have any now because a bitch is doing a lot of stand up, so now we can't afford Botox. But like, so much I'm like, I need gas to go down. It's really like fucking with my budget.
Oh my god, yes, gas is fucking me, and I have a Prius, and I'm getting screwed. So I can only imagine all these other luxury cars.
I'm a dick. I have an SUV, and I'm getting what I deserve.
Oh, that's awesome. You see, I should be driving an SUV.
Eating my money. It's terrible.
Yeah, I know. The you know, unfortunately, you can't shove drink tickets into your gas tank. Otherwise, we'd be set for life. I'm just kidding. It's just like, you know, like people are like, oh yeah, it comes with 2 free drinks. I'm like, cool. So am I going to go to the gas station and be like, let me get 2 free drinks worth of gas?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's why I'm always going through so much gas, because you have to go out of LA.
Yes, and that's what makes you successful. And so I wanted to
ask. That's the only. I mean, you can make a living. I mean, and you just got to do a lot of shows.
Yes, but you get on a lot of shows. You're funny. You're marketable. Everybody, like, I was super like blown away because I was following you, and I've only ever no because I've only ever seen you at cruisers.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, that's it. That is like, I've always, and like, for the record, I've seen cruisers just demolish veteran seasoned comics. So I was just saying,
I always, you know what? I always had a good time at cruisers.
Oh no, you did good at cruisers too. So I was like, oh, she's got to at least be funny to be, you know, because that room was a tough fucking room. And like, you know, for you to do good like there. And then I just found out recently that you have been doing comedy for like 3 or 4 years. And I'm like, holy fuck.
I haven't been doing it that long.
Oh, wow. That's even fucking better. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Well, then let me ask you a question then, because what's it called?
I now I feel the need to go to my YouTube and like delete all the shit that's bad. So people are like, she's not funny, dude.
People change. Oh my God, get the hell out of here. And for the record, like, you know, you're gonna have a video that's like super, like you think is the best video right now. You're gonna look back at it in 2 years and be like, that's fucking garbage. That is garbage. And everyone can be like, that's so great. It's so awesome. And it's just you personally, because you grow as an artist, you grow. So I was going to ask you, you're transitioning from being an actress, you know, being in these television shows, being in movies, you know, how did that help you prepare to be so confident on stage?
Well, one, I don't feel confident. I just feel like it's my job, and you go do your job. That's it. It doesn't matter what your day is, because I've been in so many different aspects of the entertainment industry, and then I ran a business when I got sick for a second, so I couldn't work for a number of years, and I wasn't prepared for actual real people. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I was in charge of everybody, so it was really difficult. And then you just do it. There's no, because I started in the 90s, you know, mid 90s. So this was a time when we didn't have the Me Too movement. We didn't have a voice really. So I was very young. So I was just like, oh, work begets work. You just do, you know what I mean? And I wasn't wrong. Like every shitty, bad decision I've ever made led me to some other great shit. You know, I won't get into. I'm Google now. I used to pose nude before. I said I wasn't going to mention it, but we posed nude before Playboy, and then I left that, and then I Esteban Oriol would not know who I was
if it wasn't for Playboy.
I had done it. You know what I mean? Whoa. And so it's like, and from just that, you know, just from working with him, I've moved with him since I was 19. I stopped. Well, I mean, I guess we still could, but I stopped only because he does not like to airbrush. He just does the lighting, and I'm like, oh no. And he's like, no. He's like, our culture, we like it. We like this. Just give us that cellulite. Like, no, I don't want to.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Panicking. He's like, give us all them rolls, bitch. Come on. Like he was like, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
You know, there's a way to have said that to make you feel more comfortable than the way he just said it.
He didn't say it. He's just like, nobody cares. He's like, you're too skinny. He's like, it's like, let it all hang out. You good. I'm like, you know, like,
oh my.
Again.
No, but I know what you're saying, but I mean, like, you know, it's just like, well, I mean, I would consider that's modeling, you know, it just happens to be nude, and it happens to be for a well-established, you know, publication. And so, you know, it's just like, that's part of who you are, and it helped, you know. And I think maybe, I mean, for real, it's like, I can't even take my shirt off to go swimming because I'm scared I'm going to, you know, just destroy the childhoods of kids who might see, why does that guy have boobs? And you know,
wrong. I don't know if you're saying that to be comedic or not, but
a little bit.
Yeah, but
it's true though. I have mortified these kids.
A little bit of truth that goes into every joke we take. That's self-deprecating. A little 10% truth. I would say, you need to not think about you're offending someone or they're grossed out, disgusted, dislike talking about you, feel whatever. You have to think about the top 10% are the 10%. There's the whole rest of the whole world. Okay. And these people, especially kids, you mentioned kids, a lot of them are going to be husky fucking kids, especially the way they eat now. You know what I mean? Like they're absentee parents or parents, they don't have to do PE anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy. And also that's budget cuts more so than anything. Budget cuts.
My personality of my work ethic of this, just gotta fucking do it, no matter how miserable it is, comes from the fact that I wasn't allowed to say I can't do PE. You always stood out. You had to. I could be dying. I'm from a generation where I would be like, oh, I'm sick, I'm dying. Go run it off. Go walk it off. 3 blocks. It was a big fucking field, like five laps. You're good. Oh, you don't want to play volleyball? You can do the track you can just walk the track the whole hour. And I'm like, actually won't work. you know. So,
But you're not sitting there. You're not sitting there. You're going to be active right now during PE. And it's even
now it's like, I'm surprised they even have PE, and it's not budget cuts. It's because everyone's child is so fucking special that heaven forbid they get told no, or talked to slightly harshly, or for some reason, like I did not get bullied in school, at least not to my acknowledgement, because my bully was my mom. I had bigger fish to fry when I got home. So if anyone bullied me in school, I didn't notice. But like, I'm not going to say bullying's okay, because it's very out of hand now. It gets way out of hand now because of social media and stuff like that. But just your basic kid stuff when you're little,
yeah,
it needs to happen. And here's why. It's a social Darwinism thing, and it prepares you to deal with conflict. And you see what kind of kid you have by how they deal with the conflict. And you can either help them grow, or you can tell them that you're like, they don't have to face their fears because someone's always going to fight their battles for them, or you know what I mean? Like, shit happens and they have to be prepared for it. Because what I've known is, I didn't get bullied in when I was younger, but I've sure as fuck have been bullied. I mean, I don't think a week goes by since I was 19 and I started being in this industry. I get bullied all the time as an adult.
Ooh, that's not cool.
In the mean girl fashion of bullied, you know, I get beat up or anything, but like,
no, but I mean, like, we're comics, so I can, like, even just like from other comics talking shit, that's a form of bullying. Like, I've been assaulted by another comedian recently, like within the past year. Sorry. Yeah, with their hands. Yeah, I called the police on them. Yes.
Good. You know why? And you should. You know why? Because that's what adults do.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Especially when you're calling, and like, you're a comedian. So if you're producing a show, never mind. But my point is that comedians turned producers who are also still comedians and performing on that show know better than anyone what it's like to get screwed over by a producer. So when you have that producer hat on as a comedian and you're screwing over your talent, you're a piece of shit and you need to be called out for that. So, and this wasn't the first time it happened, or the second time, or the third time. It happened many a time. So,
yeah.
You know, and then I called out his character and his self-sabotaging nature. And then he took out his aggressions with assaulting me and then screaming, "Hey, dude, stop getting so violent." I'm like, I'm not doing anything. But he was screaming that out to defend himself. So and then he almost sucker punched me. Thank God that I'm 6'2". And the guy that was about to like hit me is like, it was like 6'1". And then thank God there was a Hawaiian dude, this big brother from Hawaii, big brother. Yeah. He was like 6'5", and he holds back. He's like, "Not here, bro. Not here, bro. Not here, bro." So it was like, so what I'm saying is just like, you know, like getting bullied and being assaulted, totally different. But at the same time, like, okay, that assault led to like a bunch of like open micers being like, "Oh, I'm blocking Victor," and I'm like, who cares about you? Go enjoy your life. Who cares? Go be friends with this person. I don't care. It isn't like your team me, your team them. It's just like, if you're on my team, good. But if you're not, well, good too. Then don't be on my fucking team. You know what I mean? But it's just,
it is funny how it feels. They do that. I think at this level, they do that. I have several things to say.
Absolutely.
One, here's the ADHD. You were right to feel all the feelings you were feeling, and he probably did need to be called out. But I feel that there is a time and a place and a setting at the show, not the setting, loudly while things are going on, not the time, not the place.
You're right. Absolutely right.
I've always had this is the only thing I've ever done where I don't have the luxury. I mean, I do have an agent, and she'll look at emails for me, but like, she doesn't handle my stand-up because I feel like that would be a waste of her time. I'm like, I can do this. I can manage these shows. That's fine. But that was one thing I learned really quickly, is that whatever problem I have on set, or with a person, or an actress, or a crew, I never say anything. I let my agent say something, so they're the dick, and then I just be nice.
Well,
I'm almost oblivious to what happened.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, that's how
there's that. And also, and then the next thing, I don't want to know whose name it was, but this is one thing I learned in the first 7 months of doing stand-up, because I think I was so gung-ho about it because there's nothing to do. 1, 2, I had like I was going through my 3rd failed marriage, so I was like, I just need an outlet. So I was doing that kind of thing, and then I had people like being shitty to me because they're like, "Oh, you just think you can do it." I'm like, "I'm new. Why are you sweating me? You've been doing this for 5 years.
Jesus.
If you're sweating me, that's a you problem, not a me problem."
Well, that's also a reflection of how insecure they are and what you're bringing to the table.
I think it's the industry, and I think
Oh.
I remember when we were talking about confidence, and you were like, "You're fine," and I said, "No, I am not. I get the car."
Okay. On stage.
Wait, and it's not my fear of performing. I don't have a fear of performing at all. I have a fear of like, oh, there's gonna be people in there, and I have to talk to them look normal. And it's not even that I don't like them. It's just I feel so uncomfortable because I feel like I'm not doing it right.
I laugh only because I relate so well, and it's just like, it's just I could just hear my mom's voice in the background. Mijo, don't embarrass yourself. Mijo, what are you doing? And it's just like, Mom, you don't even like for reals. You don't even you don't know what I'm doing out here. It's like you're upset I said the F word, but you didn't hear all those people laughing. You didn't hear all the laughter. You just heard me swear. So all of a sudden, like I'm okay, Mom, I get it. You wouldn't pay money to see me. I get it. I got it. Thanks, Mom. But like, but she won't pay money to go see comedy in general. So she's not a comedy fan. So the fact that she would go to one of the shows.
Not everyone is.
Right. But I mean, just to support me, and like showing face and like, hey, I care about what you're doing and you're passionate about this. So I'm going to go support you.
I can't call that my show. Are you kidding me? I say too many weird things.
So do I. I talk about fucking my wife on the bed sideways because that's the best way to fuck when you're a fat guy with lower back problems. In front of my mom, in front of my wife too. I say it in front of her family.
I don't care about that. I just talk about my mom.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you don't want to talk shit about her.
Well, no, I mean, my mom's really. She's not the same woman that raised me. Like the woman that raised me is not insane. Like they're both unwell, but now they're unwell in different aspects. So now I don't think she could process what I'm saying. And if she's living in a moment where she's proud, and then I say something that is a joke, it's something that did happen, but it was so long ago. I'm like, I'm the one who should be upset. It happened. You did it to me. So, but if she's still living, because she's not, she's special with her feelings. So she might, I'm just nervous that she might come from a place of feeling disrespected and not be allowing herself to just make fun of herself. Like she's like, when she was young, she would have laughed her ass off. I don't know what's going to happen now. So I never would want to trigger this crazy defense mode that we all have to deal with after. Because, it's hard to get roasted. It's hard to, I don't know what she's made peace with in her life. Like I'm like, it is what it is. Like you can't blame your parents for things after 25. After that, it's you. So
sorry. That was such great life advice right there. I don't even know if you need to give it, but it's just like, listen, if you haven't handled your shit by age 25, that's on you, bro. After age 25, you can't, no more blaming the parents. Yeah, and you're right. That's so right. Jesus. Yeah. Oh my God. I need you to be my life coach, Rachel.
You know what's funny? I love that we're having this ADD thing, and I actually I've written notes, so I go back to the points. I mean, better.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
But I was dealing with so many crazy bitches, like gravitate, because I was getting rid of them. I'm like, I don't want this. I would see girls that would come up like, oh, and that cute. Oh my God, that's cool. Whatever you meet, because the only people I meet now are comics. I don't really hang out with my actor friends because they're all actually doing shit. And they're always like, cool, whatever. You dance with the lady next to you, and then they're like, oh, they're just. I love a person that's excited about what they're doing and passionate. Beautiful, amazing. But I find it very disturbing and mildly unhealthy when there's no off switch.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is that happening? And then I realized the pattern, and that pattern was there are always girls that are new, like newer than me, like 6 months, 10 months, a week, whatever. But they think that they know everything already. And they think they're ready for special. And that is just not, we're not commonly yoked at that point. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what to think or what to do, because I sincerely feel that women, this is why I get irritated when there's certain comics that, like, when a new chick comes on the scene, they're like, and that's wrong on so many levels.
Oh my God.
And because they're fragile, because no woman just wakes up and goes, I'm going to do stand-up comedy. No one does. You're going through something, and then you make that choice. So you always kind of want to do it, but then there's something that happens. You're like, fuck it, and then you do it, and either you hate it, you love it, it eats you alive, or you're like, oh, thank you, sir, may I have another? Like that's how it is. And so the girls that are new, a year or less, they're going. It's kind of like AA. You're not supposed to like hook up. Like I feel like is these girls should kind of like, they should kind of back off a bit, because I'm like, no, she's clearly. And then you're like, bitch is crazy. I'm like, obviously she's crazy. She just woke up one day and decided she wanted to go to the fourth wall in the fucking valley with you fucking dirty pigs. She really wanted to watch you fake fuck a stool, because no adult knows how to do it in real life. You had to demonstrate. You know what I mean? And that's amazing, but everyone else is a hack. Like no sane woman wants to do that.
Oh my God. Okay. The whole fucking the stool thing took it to a whole new level. You're hilarious. Jesus Christ. That's
we're all adults. I think we all know we don't need the demo. Thanks.
No. I make a joke that when I do urban rooms that like, hey, you want me to do 10 minutes? Well, I'm gonna actually do 25. I'm gonna fuck the stool for 10 of them. Because like a lot of urban audiences really like that. Like, I don't know why, they just like it a lot. Like, you do that in a Mexican room, you will murder. Take my word for it. Take my word for it.
You've heard the dirtiest stuff I do. I don't really do. I try not to do dirty comedy.
Okay, what I'm saying though, the Mexican crowds though, Rachel, or no, it'd be Raquel, because we gotta Mexican it up a little bit, you know. You come out there and you're like, hey, you know, I like writing my essay like this, and then you just hump the stool, and then you get like a standing O. Like I swear to God, I was like, maybe not standing O, but like you'll get like a huge applause break, and like, okay, look, I am not a good-looking guy, and I can fuck a stool and get an applause break, because you know it isn't.
If I'm fucking a stool, they're upping my pay. Sorry.
Okay, you're not okay with your clothes. Okay, fine. You are dry humping a stool. There we go. Dry humping, and there you go.
There's always like those girls are like, oh my God, let me try and check them out. And then they pronounce it so weird. They go, I'm like, pussy. And it just sounds weird. I'm like, am I right, girls? They do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, well, that's also like,
yeah, they do that, and I want to die. But like, good for them. I can't do that, because if I do that, it's technically like almost porn, and so someone owes me more money. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, no,
that's
no,
extra. Right.
No, extra.
Yeah.
I do a nasty stuff. You pay me.
Well, that's good.
Yes, things that you need to pay me.
No, well, you know, and you need, and not just you personally, but you universally one needs to know their value. And so I
feel like those that, there's some people that don't even know I was an actor, and they just know. I think the nicest thing anyone ever, because he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I was like, oh my God, it's the nicest thing anyone's ever said. I was headlining somewhere, San Diego, and
nice
guy comes out, and he was just like, so excited, and he was just like, I didn't even know you did all this stuff. I just knew you were a comic. And I was like, oh, you came again to my show and you didn't even know I was an actor or model.
Oh, that's awesome. That's super awesome.
I thought that was really nice. But the other people that maybe have like every magazine I've ever done, or, you know, Under the Bed or whatever, those people are actually my biggest fans. I've had fans for like 20 years, and they come to stuff, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, I saw some of your fans come through that knew
Oh,
you
the
from
skateboard, yeah.
the dude. Yes, and that guy weirded me out. So I wanted.
No.
No, I didn't know him. I didn't know him at all. I just thought he was some random ass dude that came through. It's like, I'm not leaving until Rachel signs this. And I'm
Well,
just like, okay, listen, dude, listen. Okay, we're all gonna be present. We're all gonna be present, even though I don't really know Rachel that well, but I know her well enough that she's my sister in comedy. So guess what? You're not fucking with her. She's gonna make it safely back to her car, and she's gonna be fine. She's gonna leave this gig, and everything's gonna be gravy. All right, because it's just like I go into Big Brother mode with these comedy shows. I've actually seen male comedians be fucking creeps, and not just to female, not not all. I'm not a. You know what's fucked up? I'm a safe comic. Yeah, but that small percent is so fucking vile that it is such a fucking like disservice to the rest of us guys that are good guys. Like I'm considered like women that are like in good shape are like, can you walk me to my car? And I'm just like, I'm so fat, like I don't know if I'll make it. Like, and then you want me to defend you if somebody attacks you? Like, what do you want from me? I mean, but also though, even just walking in pairs, they're not gonna fuck. Like, they're not gonna fuck with the.
I mean, I can go. It's over there. Like, it's like you could get a squirrel with it for sure. It's big, it's sharp, and also, one of my fans. He's so nice. He comes to everything. He's been, oh god, he came to like. Was signing for New Line Cinema when we put out Wedding Crashers at Comic.
Oh, nice. Oh, and nice.
Brought me this picture once to one of my shows, and it was like weird. Normally, I'm like, I don't know what to do when people bring me pictures. But I loved it because he always comes to everything. He's so nice. And then also, I'm like, were we ever this young? What the fuck? Because he looks like a baby. I mean, this is like what 2005 Wedding Crashers came out. I have blonde hair. I mean, I know I don't look exactly my age, but like I look like baby. I was like, oh my god, look at this, like no pores. I have no pores. I lived a life with no pores. What the fuck? So he watched me. Now he watched me with someone else, and he's a very tall man, so this is good. And I wasn't afraid of this person. I didn't feel like he was going to attack me, rape me, steal me, or anything like that. It was just too intrusive.
Yeah.
They're trying to be too familiar. It was too much. Like I had my 10, 15 minutes of it, and then I was just like, okay, I need a new person, or
right.
We're done now, because I don't.
Step away.
Because I struggle with it because I have two modes, which my boyfriend cannot stand. The first mode is when I just don't engage at all.
I don't like that either.
It's not that I think you're a piece of anyone's a piece of shit. It's just really, I just don't want to engage, because if I do this, we're never gonna fucking stop. I don't know you. I don't know if I want to know you. I get panic, and so I'll just with the phone, or I say like one thing and I'll like walk away, and I'll just leave him there, and he's just like, the fuck, she did it again. Because he's so nice. He's so nice, and I am not. And but
dude, I met, right? The dude's a sweetheart.
Isn't he really?
Dude, he recorded my set, and I just met him. He could have been a fucking jerk off if he wanted to, and it was like I wanted to jerk him off for how nice he was. Okay, for the record, Rachel laughed, or at least smiled. But no, I don't want to jerk this guy off. But he's a good-looking dude, and he recorded my set, and he gave me the name of an app, so the quality of my videos could be more pristine. And it's just like, and he told me the name of the app, and I'm like, so how much is it? He's like, $5. I was like, $5 a month. He's like, no, you pay for it once, $5, and it's yours. And I'm like,
he's so great.
Dude, really, he's such a sweet. I just met him. And he was really nice to me because I was nice to you and you were nice to me. And so it's just like, that's how comedy should be.
Regardless.
Sorry?
He's like Jesus. He would have been nice to you regardless. You could literally have just murdered someone and he would still like have some. We're not the same. We're not. He and I are like, I was like, everybody has a dark side. I'm yours, clearly. Like reason being is when I was younger, I did a set in San Diego. They loved that because when I was younger, you're young, whatever, a weird childhood. I was not the popular girl in school. I was I wear glasses. I wasn't allowed out. My school's over at 2:15. My ass was home at 3. I wasn't allowed to go to parties. I wasn't allowed to talk to anyone. My mom like kept me under lock and key. Basically, I wasn't allowed to wear jeans. It was a grunge era. It was very hard, and I was not cool. And I think when I went to college, like I just tried to make up for lost time, hence the Playboy and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, what can I do with my body? Most girls grow out of that by 16, 17, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're functioning a little bit better by the time you were in your 20s, a little bit. I wasn't. And I just said, fuck yeah, to like so many things. And I meant it. I was just like, oh, when will I have this opportunity again? And the thing is that I didn't realize they always come up. There's always a magical moment with someone you think you're never going to meet because it's fucking Hollywood and that's how it is. And I'm not going to say I regret it because I had a great time, but I definitely said fuck yeah to people that didn't deserve a fuck yeah and a situation that didn't deserve a fuck yeah. And then because when I was a kid, I was constantly like searching to fit in or searching, even in my own family, my school friends, whatever. And that kind of followed me. So when I collect these people in LA, you know, I lovingly call them starter friends. Everyone starter friends. Fucked up people when they first get here. They're loving, but they're a goddamn mess. And so if your brain's like, I don't know what's going on, then you go, well, who am I to judge? And you lack of boundaries, a mess, they're this, they're that, and they accept you as you're a fucking mess and whatever. And so it's this weird it's trauma bonding, basically. I'm gonna get really like Oprah. It's trauma bonding. And I think when I was younger, I needed it. And then I'm literally just growing out of it now, only because I get so invested that, because I try to mother people. I always say, like, you mother someone how you wish you were mothered. I get deep. I'm like, I'm in it. I mean, I would say I'm Reese Witherspoon with a tan. Like, I'm just like, same person.
I like that. Reese Witherspoon with a tan. I like it.
And I get so involved.
Right.
And then to the point like it takes from me, or I get upset because I'm like, I made you a path, just go damn it. That's right. And I get mad, like, then you like this, then you like your shitty life. You know what I mean? And so then I get mad and then I just start obsessing. And so it's just really not healthy. So now I'm just like, when I see the new girls, I'm like, oh my God, you're so pretty, you're so that. I'm like, oh God, it's stalking me. And I'm like, I've been doing stand-up for 10 months. I'm like,
I mean, but
it's not that I think I'm better than you. It's not that I don't think you're not funny. I know many girls, actually, because a lot of people were doing the work during the pandemic, of girls that have not been doing it for a year and they're fucking killing. They're pretty and funny, and they're not dressing like a rodeo clown or a toddler. They're like, I'm wearing it, fuck you. They're so powerful and all this stuff, and I think it's great. But it's a vibe. Like, I have to meet you a few times, but when girls are like, I have that joke about, the level of mental illness by how fast a woman wants to be your friend, your best friend.
I know.
Oh my God, we're besties. Like, I don't even know actually what your name is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but here, solve all of my mental health problems right now, Rachel.
You're
important. I remember your name.
Because they're in I think it's I'm a lot older than most people I meet, so I think they're in that stage that I was in, where you're searching to belong and you want build your tribe, whatever. And I don't know what it is about me. I think when the Botox was there, I could understand, because I look maybe not, but it's gone. I am frowning, scowling constantly. I'm like, I don't know why any person approaches me ever, because I'm like, I look like I will take off my shoe and hit you with it. Like, I know,
you don't at all. You actually, no, listen, for the record, you know what I equate this to? One time at a showcase, and I had a little pimple right here. And then for some reason, I'm like, oh, everyone's going to notice a whitehead. Let me pop it. And then when I popped it, it turned humongous. It was like humongous, like it was like a cherry. And I'm like, everyone's gonna look. Oh no, my bad. It was on my forehead. It was right here. And I was
You've
just,
done shows with me before, though. You know,
but
was
but
that
the,
every time?
well, I know. Well, I mean, what I'm saying. Well,
Maybe.
but what I'm saying is, no one notices it except for you. The lights are so fucking
Of
bright.
course, well, maybe that's another thing too. I was like to these young girls that want to do comedy. I'm like, first step, read a room. Ask you, do you see me doing this? Do you see me backing away and like picking up my stuff? Like, cool. When I'm like, oh, that's so crazy. And I've said that same thing 3 times because I'm not listening anymore. So I was just like, read a room. Step 1, read the room.
Right.
Can't read this room, then good luck on stage. Cause like you have to read a room. You gotta read a room, you gotta take the temperature. You say something like, oh, it's not working. Okay. And you don't change your personality. You just have other stuff, or you acknowledge it, or you don't, or whatever. You don't change your personality for the room. What you do is you just have lots of. It's like it's being smart, and there's book smart, and then there's life smart, and this is where the life smart comes into play.
Right.
Because there's people that just murder with crowd work.
Right.
Because
they're in the moment.
They're not only smart, like I was saying my biggest goal now is I would like to, I don't know what happened to me over the last 10 years, but I talk like a sailor now, so I cuss too much. So I'd like to eliminate that a bit. And I would like to have a larger vernacular so that way I can.
I like your choice of words there. Vernacular. I actually used that word recently. Someone's like, what does that mean? I was like, your word choice. The word, all the words that you know, the words that you choose, that's your vernacular, the way you talk. But at any rate, it's just like, and it's not to be condescending. It's like, you know, the way that you talk, that's your vernacular. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's how you approach the situation. So like, you know, with all this stuff, like, so maybe like these, I did this. I challenged myself. You could write 15 minutes clean. You can do it. You're a big boy. No, you don't write 15 minutes clean. You write 2 minutes clean or 3 minutes clean. Then you think about stories, and then you just don't put in the fucks or in my case, the suck my spick dicks, and fucking, you know, just take them the fuck out. Take all that shit out. Like, I can't tell the story about how I did a show in the Castro, which is like gay Mecca in San Francisco.
I used to live in San Francisco.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, I can't do that joke during a clean show. What's funny is that during a clean show,
Why not?
Because it involves like glory holes and like muscle daddies and me being a bear and fetishes. So that implies sex.
It's kind of like when you have kids.
Yeah.
So I don't have children because I'm smart.
Almost spit my drink out. Thank you.
Everyone is like, no, kids are amazing. I just don't have any. I just don't have any because God did not want to give me any. And
that, or he loves you, or she loves you.
He's like, no, she's not ready. Give her a cat. So, but I nannied for a long time when I was younger, and mind you, I didn't cuss as much when I was younger. But even the way I don't know if you've been around small children, but like even the way you express yourself, even if it's not a cuss word, your energy, they pick up on it and they mimic everything. And those, even when it's your kids, when it's someone else's kids, someone else, wealthy children, and they're like, why is my child like walking around like she's Puerto Rican all of a sudden? She's doing like she's snapping. Like, I'm sorry.
Would you see that video? It was viral a couple years back, and there was this little kid who's like, listen, Linda, talking with his mom. Linda, listen to me, Linda. Listen, Linda. And he was just imitating his dad talking to his mom. He wasn't even calling her mom. And it was like, oh, isn't this cute? Then the comments are like, that's so ratchet. How can you train a kid? It's like, yeah, well, that's how you teach racism. That's how you teach sexism. That's how you teach homophobia. That's how you teach all these things that are like negative, you know, at home. You learn it from the people that's close to you. They can be unlearned. And so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe like earlier you're talking about how, and me with my ADHD brain, how you were robbed of the culture, but I wouldn't say robbed.
I saw stuff.
I would say starved. I would say starved, and then now you could still nourish yourself with the culture if you choose to. But if you could identify with whatever you want. And I was going to actually ask you, do you identify as Latino or Latina or Latinx, or is it just American? Because in some cases I'm American. Like when I'm in the border and I'm trying to come back from Mexico, I'm American, brother. I'm from the Bay Area. What are you talking about? I hella need to go back to my house. Hella, because I'm from NorCal, bro.
I hate the word hello, by the way.
Oh, so do everybody in SoCal. Trust me.
Business, and I forbid my employees to say the word hella.
I would have got fired on day one. I'm sorry.
But here's the thing, you're a comedian, you're a man, whatever. It's fine. We had a waxing boutique in like Beverly Hills.
Oh, nice. Oh, that's fancy.
So my employees coming like hella this and no. We're gonna eliminate. You can do that at home.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, you know,
I like to use the word cunt in every 5 seconds. But I don't use it in the workplace.
Rachel, I'm offended then. I'm offended. We've been talking for like an hour. You just barely said cunt right now for the first time. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
Also, all your viewers are getting an actual real-time visual of what ADD is. It's me reaching for things.
Oh yeah. Oh, trust me. It's a double header tonight because it's your ADHD plus my ADHD plus OCD plus bipolar plus being a polar bear. So it's just like I got a lot of things going on too. And it's just like, so let me ask you some questions. Sorry?
Did you say you're bipolar?
Yeah. I mean,
how is that for you?
Horrible.
I literally, I think I know. I honestly think I know a lot of people that are bipolar, but they don't know they're bipolar.
Well, that's the thing. You don't know until they tell you.
Call it bipolar anymore, do they? They call it something else.
Oh, they call it bipolar disorder. Or something else, like I forgot, or a borderline personality or something
borderline
like that.
Personality.
There we go.
So my mother.
See, I'm not bullshitting.
Borderline personality, touch of narcissism, a lot of trauma, all that stuff. It sucked. So basically, she will never admit when she's wrong. There's no argument. It's just like, it's, if you say there's a Pegasus outside, I'm just gonna, yeah, it's beautiful. I don't want the argument. It's fine. But she's a special case. So I had a teacher once that she told us right off the bat. She's like, hey, I'm bipolar, and she made some jokes about it, whatever. And then I was just like, okay, how does that? It doesn't really affect you. Can still do your job, right? And then it happened to be when I was in her class, there was a lot of episodes. So there was a lot of like other people teaching me instead of the person I paid a lot of money to teach me. And
oh wow, that's disheartening.
And then in class, I would get certain notes that I thought were just like, fuck you. Okay. Oh, and I said, okay, I'm all right. I'll come back. I'll come back with something better. And then the next day or 2 days later, when they're back in class, no recollection that they even gave. In fact, they were telling me the opposite. Like, why don't you just like say what's in your heart? And I'm like, I did. And you telling me shit. And then luckily, because my mom's like that, I'm like, oh, you're having the thing.
Yeah. It's like you're gaslighting people without even knowing you're gaslighting
but
them.
It's not because some people are just dicks and they gaslight you.
Right. No, people are dicks and they can control it. And there's some of us that can't control it.
And there's some people that like they really, that in their head, that's how it happens.
And
so that's why I don't argue with my mom when she says it's Pegasus outside. I'm like, well, you see it, I don't, but I'm not gonna argue with it because it is what it is. Well, and it's almost something we should take a little bit with everyone, because I think everyone, it's like The Walking Dead. I think everyone is on some spectrum level of something. Everyone's a little bit autistic. Everyone's a little bit this.
Right. I agree.
It's funny,
especially if you're a comic. Everyone has Asperger's, I think, in my opinion. If you go on stage, I think you have some form of autism, self-included.
What kind of comedy do you do? But I asked my aunt, I was so worried. And I'm like, am I a narcissist? And she's like, well, you can't be asking if you have narcissism. I'm like, no, she goes, what you are is entitled. You're entitled. You're entitled because you had a shitty childhood and you worked to have things as an adult, and you feel because you worked that you should be just given a certain amount of respect. So basically, I'm a Gen X, but with a boomer heart. You know what I mean? Like, I work
That's so funny.
my boots up with my
Okay, well, you look like a very
know,
young millennial, like seriously,
thank you.
and I look like a very old Generation Xer.
Well,
So
I mean,
it's like,
my mentality is Gen Z, so don't get too excited.
no,
But
I get excited because I could have a fucking real conversation with you, and then like just turn it off and go on stage like we just didn't have a deep ass conversation about mental health and comparing stories, and it's just like, and because we got deep, I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I don't want to scream this at you. Let me just sit near you so we don't have to scream. And then Jack's like,
yeah, we
hey, this is a little bit too deep. And I'm like, we're talking about mental health, but okay. You want to talk about it with us? He was like, hey, I'm doing the show. But like, because he was hosting.
My boyfriend has no mental health disorders.
Well, that lucky son of a gun.
I've tried, and then I'm just like,
oh my goodness, no,
nothing wrong with you. Other than this, he loves, which I have the ability to be crazy. I haven't been crazy yet, but like, he loves Latina women. Like
who doesn't? Even Latino women love Latino women. For fuck's sake.
I don't do crazy. I can't.
I know what's crazy. Just Latina.
Amber Heard, I would have fucking shoved her off the boat. I'm like, nah.
So thank God you weren't Johnny Depp in that situation.
I worked with her on a movie once, so young Amber Heard, maybe I would have put up with it for a bit. Whatever showed up in the court, you need to act your face, bitch. Sorry, no.
It looked like she did a bump off a Kleenex too in court. I don't know if you saw that clip where it looked like she went.
There's no way you would have a heart attack.
No way. No, trust me. What the amounts of coke that they do is like
weird shit in public. Like you're like having a nervous breakdown. Like there's no way.
I've literally been in the room with people like, all snorting the same coke and everyone's all amped up except for that one person. They're like, all right, I'm tired, dude. I'm gonna go to sleep. I'm like, how the fuck are you going to sleep right? For the record, the doors were open in the green room when I was with Rachel talking to her on Friday. There was nothing going on that was illegal. It was just, or everything was above ground.
You know that joke where they're like, "Oh, have a line, relax."
Oh no! For me, it's like have a line and get some confidence.
I was medicating because I did the whole socialite thing and going out, and I was like, I didn't realize because I was doing the fuck yeah thing. I wasn't realizing that I didn't really want to be there. I wasn't acknowledging that I felt uncomfortable. And even though I was, these are all my friends, quote unquote, and I belonged technically, it still felt like I think when things happen to you when you're younger, you never get over it. So I think no matter how much success I'll probably ever have, I'll kind of always feel a little bit like I don't belong there. Or that
like imposter syndrome type of thing.
Yeah, or that someone's gonna be like, any second someone's gonna know.
I mean, but here, let's look at it from me. But hold on.
When I used to go to school, like I almost didn't graduate high school because I couldn't do roll call. I stood outside every class for 4 years. I went to summer school every year. I had shit grades, not because I was dumb, because your grade goes down, skip school or be late. And I would wait outside until I saw them put the attendance out. And the reason being is I could not handle the idea that it was coming around. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking die. And I could not acknowledge I was in a room.
Oh my God.
Which gives you, remember when I said I wasn't bullied, I had shit going on at home. Yeah. Kind of gives you a viewpoint of the shit I was going on at home that I couldn't acknowledge that I was present in a room, because when I'm home, I was not allowed to do anything. So it was really, it was a lot, and it was just an era we didn't have mental health. I joke that it's gone too far now.
No, I know what you're saying.
But a little too far. But it would have been nice to have like some understanding, or at least people that would be like, oh,
an advocate.
He's not being a bad kid. do not, because I wouldn't even skip school. Like skip school, I would go to the library. You know what I mean? I wasn't like
Okay,
that.
so you didn't even leave campus to skip class. You were still in the library. Okay.
Sometimes I'd go to the beach, but like not much.
Okay. Okay. Well, you deserve to have, mental health days where you go to the beach and
Well,
enjoy yourself.
Kansas now, we used to call it ditching. Now it's a mental health day.
Well, yeah, no, of course you have to, you don't,
So what you do?
there's no
Find
fat kids.
health-
There's just kids that have different sized bodies. And I'm like, no, that's a fat kid. That's
You know
a
what?
fat kid.
You know what I think is rude?
Yeah.
You know what I think is rude is that remember when they said the brontosaurus didn't exist? And it was Allosaurus. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
And then they made his neck longer and his head, it even looked more weird. And that was when they said Pluto wasn't a planet.
I was just about to say that one. Yeah.
Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. If that's where we learned it in science, how dare you take the please out? How dare you go fuck yourself? I was so upset because you learned like the orbit to the sun. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And when you're young, I don't know, young people, you'll get it.
Whoa, hold on. Please excuse my dear.
Yeah. That's the
yeah.
That's there's a sun.
Right.
There's all the planets orbiting the sun.
Yeah.
From out to in.
Right.
Yeah. So you just go in, and so it was just I was like, ugh. And it was such a bummer. And then I literally thought that people were big boned, and I still
really
flat earther on that one. That is the on. I think some people, are big bones. So you all can just go fuck yourself. When you say, oh, bones. No, we don't. No, we fucking don't. No, we fucking don't. I don't believe you. Because here's what. Not that they're superior, anything like that, but just bone structure and like what they have to do in life.
Right.
From their ancestors up. People of Viking background. Big motherfuckers, right?
Right.
About raping and pillaging and conquering new lands and stuff. And so it's like, I'm sorry, I hope you're not getting all these texts coming in.
No, I'm not.
And so like their ancestors, they're still tall, they still have the bone structure, all that stuff. African people, you know what I mean? Like just fucking ripped, this like perfect specimen of their bones have to be different. Vikings have to be different. And then you have like I'm Mexican, Spanish. Honestly, it's a Spanish. I'm like, do we have to? I'm gonna ADD moment. So later you're gonna do you're gonna begin with a little computer and you're like that VH1 pop-ups.
Yeah.
You're gonna go ding, ADD moment.
Yeah, I know.
This is what it is. So when I went to Texas for the first time, I was 7. My mom had fucked up a marriage. I didn't know up until that point that I wasn't Jewish.
Really?
I didn't know any better. I didn't know any better. I went to temple. I didn't know any better. Like it was a whole, I never questioned why I didn't look at my dad. I just assumed the curly hair would come in later.
That's so innocent. It's so funny. No. It's like, no, they'll come in later. It's fine. I'll grow into them.
And like, well, if I don't see them, I'm quite pale, but like, I think my mom, because my mom was so, well, one, Mexicans are so racist.
Of course. We're the biggest racists.
The worst racists.
Especially against other Mexicans. Especially against other Mexicans.
We're the worst.
We're the worst. We're the worst.
We're the fucking worst.
Mexicans can't be racist. Yeah, because we're fucking superior at racism than any other fucking race. It's like, listen, we're superior to everybody. We speak 2 languages. We work the hardest, and we have the most babies because we don't believe in condoms. But we believe in God,
Yeah, the first time I heard the word wetback, it was out of my mother's mouth, not anyone else's mouth. Saying it about someone else, I'm like, I was confused. I'm like, Mom, you can't say that. My mom, we're from Texas originally. Yeah. My mom says the R. Hard R.
Oh yeah. Oh, and, ooh. Speaking of the hard R.
Ooh, I've heard entire. Stop. It used to like. I used to the point where if I had like a school function, I wouldn't even tell her.
Yeah, that might have.
She was nuts. Like, My mom, I was looking at my birth certificate today because I was like filling out stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, how old was my mom? And I looked, so when she had me, she was 19, which for a Mexican is very normal. The rest of the world's like, no, child.
Also, like, yeah, I mean, like, even if it was like 20 years ago versus like 30 years ago versus 10 years ago versus 5 years ago, that's like a whole different, like, having a child at 19. I mean, my mom had my brother when she was like 18 and a half. And like, this was like in 1969. So I have a 50.
That was normal. That
So,
was
so yeah, same parents. And then it's like, I'm 16 years younger than him. So I'm 37. I was born in 85. He was born in 69.
They're like, I'm keeping this plant alive.
I'm keeping my little chihuahua alive. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, so I have a question though, because this is like super, super important. Stand-up comedy is scary, especially with all the mentally unstable people that we interact with. Sorry?
I said, I'm mentally unstable.
Okay, yeah, but you're not dangerous. At least when I see you at comedy shows.
I never know. You know what it is? I do this. The crazy one.
I do that because I'm a big guy. I got to do that because if I don't, I look like this. Yeah, what's up? Let me see your ID. Let me see your ID.
I look like I'm smiling because I give death looks to people, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't even looking at you. Really?
Oh my God. Oh no, but I was going to ask you, what can I do as a male comedian to make the scene safer for women?
Stop having a Superman complex that you need to.
Okay. I don't have that, but I mean, just in general, but yes.
It's not your job. It's not your job. You can only control yourself, and you do a great job representing yourself. It is not your job to defend every woman. It is not your job to teach or reprimand other people because they're on their own journey. You can only do yourself, lead by example, and literally just do you. And if you ever produce a show, I would say if you ever produce a show, just make sure your host doesn't do. It's weird when the host does derogatory stuff. Unless it's like when you're starting out and the host, it's one of those things like funny's funny.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. Like if it's funny, it's fucking funny.
Your next comic has a vagina. It's like, shut the fuck up. Okay. I don't want to hear that shit.
I mean, but here's the thing. It just depends. What's the delivery?
No, but I've literally heard it exactly verbatim with the same tone as how I just said it, which is very derogatory.
It's derogatory. So it just kind of, I mean, I've done shows where someone has just no energy, like open mic energy.
Right.
And then they do a set, which is it's like a 10-minute set, but it feels like a 20-minute set because it's not going well. And then
I wasn't there, but I feel like I was there.
And then the whole time they're like talking about their cum and they say all the words. The thing is, I'm not square. I say all these words, but just when I think of the visual of this person saying it, it makes me want to hurl. And that's what I'm doing, because it's like nobody wants to hear that. No, this is the last person I want to envision having. Please stop with your very detailed. Like, make it stop.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't want to shit on women and their comedy, but like sometimes if it's not workshopped well.
Hey, there's a lot of shitty male dude comics. I just want to point out.
Well,
a lot of shitty male dudes.
I have heard a funny thing about a menstrual cycle once or twice.
Out of how many attempts though?
But all the times I've heard about a menstrual cycle, most of them were just gross, and it's because it's not workshopped yet.
Right.
I think it can be funny, but it has to also be relatable. Relatable means everyone in the room.
Right, or at least enough people to make noise, whether that's laughing or clapping, because like there's polarizing the crowd, and then there's like appeasing the crowd, and then there's like getting people to like really like, I want to see you again. And so it's like there's a
pander. If you pander, you might have a few wins, but you'll never win.
No. I mean, but it's not about pandering. It's about getting the room back. So however you get the room back, because sometimes you go on stage, you get introduced, and it's not even about getting the audience back. You never had them. The host did a shitty job. The comics who went up before you did a shitty job. The crowd fucking sucks. So now it's your turn, even if you're the headliner or the feature.
I never blamed.
You never what?
I
Blame the
never,
crowd?
never.
No. But I'm just saying, I've been doing comedy long enough where there's been some crowds that have been very disrespectful to the whole idea of stand-up, only because the producer did a really shitty job in like having it be at a bowling alley during league night and didn't tell any fucking body that there was a comedy night. So there's all these people going to the bar where we're having, or the lounge where we're having the show, and they just want to have a drink and talk with their bowling buddies. And here we are telling our dick jokes and talking about our menstrual cycles. And there's just like, it's like a fucking flash mob comedy. It's like, here we are, you know, it's just like, were you ready for it? Well, who cares? Here we are.
Yeah. I feel that. I think that, I have to ask a question. Can we stop this for 1 second? Is there a stop button?
I do this unedited. I have one more question and we could finish it.
I want to keep going because I have a lot of notes to talk about, but I just have to pee.
Okay, then yeah, go ahead. No, yeah, just go. You don't have to do shit. Okay. I'll just keep talking. I'll just keep just go ahead. Got it. Rachael Sterling, a sweetheart, very cool, very, very considerate, because I thought she was trying to tell me something in private. She's like, no, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. I'm like, that's cool too. And you know what? That's really awesome, because you know, when you're doing stand-up, sometimes you don't know what's gonna happen. Sometimes, like, you know, like you're gonna go next, and then like the comic's on stage, and it's just like, oh, well, you got like 10 minutes, so maybe I have enough time to go to the bathroom, right? Like, you know, maybe take a 3-minute poop, and it ends up being a 5-minute poop, and then the comic that's on stage gets off early, and then they call your name and you are sitting down going to the bathroom. And so it's just, you're literally caught with your pants down. And so it sucks, but what are you going to do about it? You know, it's like they got to just go to the next comic. So hopefully it's like you're not headlining the show and then you're caught with your pants down. But then again, if you're headlining and the comic before you doesn't do their whole time, it's just, that's a bad reflection on them too. But you know, it's pretty cool, you know, like, because like, you know, with all of my podcasts, like, you know, all of my guests, I do research for every individual guest, so we're able to have a discussion based on our interactions and shared interests that we're both interested in. And so it's pretty cool, because you know, Rachel's been really respectful, really awesome, always on point, dancing back onto frame like a superstar that she is. Okay, no, you're great. You're great. No. And I was just talking about how getting your caught with your pants down when you're taking a poop, when you think you have enough time to go and take a poop because the comic is on.
That we're together. I'm like, do I have time to pee? Do I have time? Like, I said 2 minutes. It was like 30 seconds. I'm out. And they watched me. I was like, oh, lightning speed.
Oh no, I was just, trust me, I had way more. And then we got a little kitty cat in the background. It goes meow, 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 meow. Oh my, no, there's such a beautiful cat. I'm just like, it threw me off because I was just like, I didn't see any type of like movement in the background. Hey, what's your cat's name? Hey, cutie pie. Sorry?
You know, he doesn't wear a shirt. Guillermo. He doesn't wear a shirt, but he's wearing one today because I found it. It used for a long time. Dogs. A little too tight.
No, he's fine.
Beautiful. And he just woke up from his nap.
It makes him look more buff. Okay, it makes him look more buff. So it's very flattering with his body type. You know, it wouldn't look good on me, but it looks good on Guillermo. But yeah, let me ask you a couple of questions, because otherwise I'm Mexican and I'll have you on here for like 3 fucking hours. No, so,
here's what I wanted to finish my sentence for the other thing is we kept because I have notes right here.
Yeah.
This is when you go to when you do ADHD medication and therapy, they make you do notes so you don't forget your place, so you can circle back. I don't know how it goes in real life, but you do too.
This is all you.
You just write. You know,
I'm writing.
Remember, it's very hard because I'm like, just say something now.
Sorry. Same.
So when we were going to the thing of the show, you felt the need to tell someone they were this, that, and you got assaulted. Again, feelings totally validated. Like, I'm not saying you shouldn't have felt the way you felt, or even maybe did the thing you did, but just in the future, time, place for everything. And also this is something I learned in this first 7 months, because I would say yes to everything.
Mhm.
And I don't regret any show I've ever done. It was great. I made lots of friends. I did other stuff. And then there's just, you grow out of them. So,
Right. Right.
and I think that if someone, just because someone asked you to do a show, doesn't mean you have to say yes.
You
And that's a
know, that
powerful
is solid advice.
but you have to learn, because part of you is like, I haven't booked. There's this, this social media pressure that we feel we need to have the full week or whatever. It's bullshit. And also you need the practice, or you never know who you'll meet. Sometimes, and you're right. Sometimes you never know. You might just meet this gem of a person in the rough. But if it's for someone that consistently doesn't run their show well, or they just let everyone on the show, and it's not quality, because you want to be associated with people of quality,
right?
You know what I mean? Not to say that you're better than the show or anything like that. It just, and you'll do the shitty show sometimes, but overall, if you want to eventually stop paying to do comedy,
Yeah, very LA thing.
Somewhat respected, or like, I have comments all the time that come and they're angry about it. And it's always, I'm like, I don't know what to do with your anger. And they're like, oh, that person, tell them to put me on a show. And I'm like,
no, that isn't how you get booked.
Really uncomfortable. I don't know what to do with that sentence. Like, you just telling me to get you on a show.
Let me give you some advice, then, Rachel. You smile, you nod, and you say, let me see what I can do, and then you don't follow through. That's
I don't even say anything. I just revert back to Playboy, and I go, and I just giggle, and I just
sorry. I'm gonna try that next time, for the record. Next time somebody asks me for a booking that I don't want to like help them get, I'm just gonna.
Also, it's a lot. It's like, this is what the thing is. It's like, these people need to understand. Like, you're aggressively telling me, well, get me booked, or tell them to book me, but you're saying it also angrily, because
you're desperate.
Anger, and so that's uncomfortable. So you're dumping your shit on me.
Right.
Not cool. Oh, you're making me feel bad because I'm doing something. Also not cool.
Yeah.
And then you're putting the pressure on me to put you on a show. I don't have that power.
Right.
And my neck out for you and say the soup is good, when if you're as amazing as you are, they would know the soup is good.
Right. Or I mean,
I say other things. I'm like, why don't you come to the show and like support? And they're like,
that's
I can't. All of a sudden they're doing a show. I'm like, oh, so you are doing a show then?
They're not. They're gonna go pay to do 5 minutes somewhere. They don't have no show.
Or I mean, even when I used to do Roosevelt, I just make people buy a ticket.
Right.
I'm like, no, buy a ticket. And expensive. And people bought the tickets, and those people I introduced to the people that were gonna get them on the show, and those people eventually got on the show, and so much more. And I'm just like, no, you have to support other shows.
Right.
It's $10, it's whatever. If you don't have the money, then just be honest. Like, bro, I can't. I'm broke as fuck. I can't. And usually that person, oh my God, worries, come with me, walk in with me, or there's actually a code or something like that, or like, hey, I've done this before, because like, improv is a little. I work with people that they love to sell out. And I'm just like, shit. So
those are good people to work with.
I will hit up all these people, and there's some people that I know they don't got it. Right. Or they might, but they don't. And I always say, and I'm always praying like, please don't ask me for say yes. But I say like, hey, could you do me a favor? Here's the thing, could you buy the ticket, and then I'll Venmo you back.
Oh yeah. Well, that's awfully nice of you.
Not buying tickets, so that works too. But they were willing to like show up. That's always, it's West Hollywood.
Well, hopefully it's not your car. Is all I'm saying.
It's not mine.
This is.
You see how
I love how we both just went silent for that car alarm. Like, wait, is it yours? And then I'm like, wait a minute.
I wish we need to like. You do a side by side. You do my boyfriend's interview. He's so outwardly nice, and I'm just like,
Well, you know, sometimes you need that counterbalance. You know, it's just like my wife, she's the sweetest person on the planet. I'm a fucking dick. And so it's just like, it's like
I
yin
think
and
it's
yang, you know?
so.
So, you know, it just depends. But let me ask you a couple more questions.
Okay.
What are some things
Yes.
female,
What?
sorry?
Sorry, I just didn't finish it because it was staring at
Oh,
me.
I'm so sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Don't say yes to shitty shows.
Stop saying yes to shitty shows and stop fucking commiserating with
So
a
if
bunch of
you
shitty
were
shitty.
on a show that wasn't Manuel and the person's being a dick and he fucked you with money and stuff like that, it's a small percentage on you because you're the person, you didn't vet them and you went, I want, and you said it was more than once. So that meant someone showed you who they were,
Right.
and you believed them, and you said, I like it, do it again, and he did it again. And so yes, I have your feelings or whatever, but don't take it to the point where you ruin your reputation.
Right. But I mean, this
what I've learned, and this is where I'm trying to do this thing, nature versus nurture, because there's a lot of things I'm just like, I will fucking knife you. And I'm like, and then there's some stuff that I feel it and like flames upside my face, but I'm just like really subdued. And that's the scary part because I'm like, I could be on Snap. I am one of those people that will just fucking kill you one day.
Oh my God. I thought you meant Snapchat for a second.
Or
I could be on Snapchat. No, Snap.
Ashley white bitch that my mom put in me that I was like, and then inside I'm like, you're gonna die later. Yeah, you're gonna die later. It's fine. Cheers. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Yeah. But like I would say, because we're all adults, and if you want, this is another thing I've told everyone. When people feud and fight with each other. Yeah. I know many very successful comics. I don't talk to other successful comics. And I'm friends with everybody, and this is how I do it. I say, don't tell me. I say it's an unpopular thing to say. They might be a little taken aback, and if they're taken aback, that means they're not for you. Or they'll be like, okay, you're not going to lose a friend. You're not going to lose a real friend. And so I say, that's beautiful. Or someone says they're heated, and I go, I do not contribute. I say, okay. I say, how did that make you feel? I make it about them. I don't say, yeah, that's fucked up. She's fucked up. He's fucked up. Fuck them. The horse I rode in. I never say any of those things. Yeah, that's good. It'll, you know why? Because it snaps you back in the ass after. These people will be friends in 2 weeks, and then you're the asshole because they both talk shit to you, and then you're out. So that never do that. And I think that this is what I tell everyone. I'm like, we all have to play in the same sandbox. Yeah, and that's exactly what it is. But unfortunately, some of us are more mature in that sandbox. Some things that you're gonna go, that's your mountain, and you're gonna die on, and that's fine. But choose them wisely. Absolutely. Oh, trust me. The same people that are talking to you in secret and like, oh my God, that person should never be allowed to stand up again. Blah blah blah. And they're saying all this, and they're so vindictive, and they're on their little high horse. 6 months, 8 months later, everyone's fine. Yeah. Big example, Chris D'Elia. Right. Everyone had something to say. Right. He was canceled. Canceled. Not anymore. It was funny. And here's the thing is I'm probably getting canceled for saying this, but like everyone except for Chris D'Elia was canceled. He was just business. He was like, oh, I don't have to go to work now. He was just cool, because he still did his podcast, which I was like, this motherfucker's still doing his podcast? I'd be in hiding right now. No fucks given. Did his podcast, hanging out with his kid, saying his wife. He's probably like, oh, thank God, I just need to hang out with my wife and my kid. I think he just really needed some like normal human time. And if you listen to his podcast now, he's like, yeah, I just was not okay. I love that he never acknowledges the thing, which is also kind of yeah, that's weird. I also watch murder movies and things like that for fun. So I'm like, psychologically, it's brilliant and weird all at the same time for me. And I think if people, because everyone else is like, I have a pimple, I'm this and that, and like, oh, if that man can go on stage, y'all can go on. Get the fuck out of here. And the thing is like, because his priorities are his kid, his wife, his business, his close friends. And he's learning to care about other people. And I honestly a little bit think that's okay.
Yeah.
It's weird because things happened, but if more people adapted that where they weren't so concerned about other people, I don't think that could have happened in 2020 or 2021 because we didn't have anything else to do. But like, people are so concerned about. I have a friend, she went to Burning Man, she wore braids, and it was a whole thing. Also, she's part Black, but she doesn't look it 100%.
Right.
So I jumped on her, and I'm like, you don't know the whole story. You know, like 2 seconds of the story, and then you jump on some cancel people. Know the whole story, and people can be redeemed. People can learn their fucking lesson, but then it's like these people are very safe in their basement typing.
I love how you said basement, like, you know.
I have people talking about me like, oh, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, she did this. I'm like, why are you still talking about it? That was 20 years ago, bro. I'm like, you want to commit in? I don't know what to tell you. And they're so obsessed with it. So it's just like, I feel like, but we all have to work. I know people that I was still a new comic. I know Crystalia because we did a TV show together. I've known other comics that have gotten in trouble because when you're an actress, you go to a lot of shows, you meet people. So we were friends, but we knew each other.
Yeah. And
it's like they were dropping like flies. Like, fuck, y'all dropping like flies. And then I just got my mouth shut because I'm just like, I don't know the whole story.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, people are really, not you, but
I wasn't there. I didn't know the whole story. Like, it's disappointing. I said it was disappointing. Well, that would be disappointing because that's not the person I know. Well, that's a fair. It's disappointing. It's not the person I know. But sometimes we all have that weird uncle.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I wasn't there. I don't know. So you just have to know the facts first. But I feel like at the end of the day, all the people that were on their Ashliness of their like, let me educate myself and stand on the soapbox, deep on all the police. And then they're sad because there's no, right now I live in West Hollywood, there's no police.
Right.
All these bitches,
now they want cops. Now they want cops.
With their little dogs were like, no police. They're like, oh yeah? They took them out from here. Not from there. They're here. So now I'm in West Hollywood, no police. We have these little people, they wear little shirts like, I'm a volunteer. I'm like, great. I feel super.
Congratulations, on their volunteerism. You did it. You did it.
It was kind of funny. I'm like, oh, you're the one who were complaining, so you're the ones that don't get the police. But it's like we all have to work together, and all the people that were like condemning. Some people stuck to their guns, but like for the most, but without knowing the fact, they just because it was a popular thing to do more. Like it's like when I say a witch hunt, I didn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
I'm saying it was. We have a judicial system for a reason.
Right.
And is not
innocent until proven guilty, but in some cases, the court of public opinion trumps that.
And people got really obsessed with a lot of things, and I'm just like, at the end of the day, we all have to work with each other. This is something I learned very early on. Doesn't matter if someone's a dick to you, to your friend, or whatever. Sure. Unless they literally raped you and you can like, you can prove it, like it happened. Like, I'm not saying that I feel like I have to, this is what woke culture has done to me. I feel like I have to, I'm not saying if you can't prove it didn't happen. I'm just saying it's harder.
Yeah, God forbid somebody takes this interview out of context. It's like, she condones rape.
Supporter. Like, no, I just have sense.
No, dude, no, I totally get it. So
I'm just like, because guess what happened? People were like, don't work with them. Don't work with that person. Don't work with that person. Oh my God. I had a girl like, you had this guy in a show. And unfortunately, she's like kind of a crackhead. So I was like, I believe you. I believe something happened. I just can't go about your method of doing it because I could be sued for libel. Like it's
yeah, that's scary.
When you're an adult, you can't just say shit about people.
Right. Well, that's also being a professional though too.
This girl wanted
an adult.
I produced one silly little show. It wasn't even like, I don't know if she was making a big deal. It was like a show at like Baja. It was like a taco shop or something like that. And it's to teach me how to host I'm still on the host. But you see what he does?
Yeah.
Just to look at me like, oh, is this upsetting you?
Rachel, hey, I'm gonna have to get you in a part 2 because
Oh,
we're almost at 2 hours and like I'm fucking having a ball and I only asked you 3 questions.
before you open your mouth and condemn someone else,
Yes.
and I'm not saying being complacent,
Yes.
you can still disassociate from someone without opening your mouth and ruining things.
I agree.
But because all those people that were canceled at the beginning of 2020, aside from Bill Cosby, of course,
Yeah, and
and,
flourishing and
and
selling
all the
out.
clubs are acting like nothing fucking happened. So if you were one of these people that was like, oh my god, no, no, no,
Yeah.
guess who's not getting booked? Yo ass. And
Right.
just being complacent, it just sometimes, if it doesn't apply to you, really mind your fucking business, because you don't really know what happened.
Dude. Well, yeah, well
I mean,
that's super solid advice. I have a question, Rachel.
the whole thing I said is going to be taken out of context.
No, it's not. No, it's not. The only thing that's going to be taken out of context is like, can they just stick to one fucking topic, both of them?
Oh no,
No, it wasn't you. It was me. It's like, I'm like, you know, I'm like, hey, it's whatever you, I got my notes too. But Rachel, let me ask you this final question. Where can the people at home find you?
What do you mean?
You have like a website or
Yes.
like a social media? Like what's your social media? What's your website?
I have
Or
Rachael Sterling .rocks, not com .rocks. I have Instagram, it's R Sterling Comedy. YouTube, it's R Sterling Comedy. And I think Facebook is Rachael Sterling Comedy. But I will say, don't DM me, because there's
nice.
so many of them. I don't. And
Did you all hear that? Did you all hear that? Do not DM Rachel at all, unless you're offering her a paid gig and you give her some of that money up front, especially if you don't know her. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. No, I was talking to whoever the fuck tries to DM you. Like, they better come give us some fucking money and not waste your fucking time. Or you know what? That's pretty much what I'm trying to say. Or you know, it's just because I know that about the DMs.
And like 5% of it's normal, and the rest of it is just like, what the
Listen,
fuck?
I don't want you to deal with none of that shit. And if I could help prevent any of that shit by yelling at people that might potentially DM you to fucking be like, hey, you're really pretty. It's like, hey, shut the fuck up. She gave great advice, asshole. That's what the podcast is about, you fucking prick. All right. This isn't a fucking
those online. I don't know what your ads are. Your
yeah.
Mine are ads to take an online Instagram class on how to be a life coach.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I said I wanted you to be my life coach earlier. So yeah, no, but I mean, you can do whatever you want. It's
life coach. I would cuss a lot.
No. Good life coaches cuss a lot. You just can't be if you're gonna be a life coach for people, they got to be 16 plus or 18 plus. Actually, just be on the safe side, 18 plus. Because like you know, it's never a good idea to curse in front of minors, because then it's like, oh, you take this out of context, blah blah blah. Now you're the bad person. But at any rate, I'm Mexican. I've been trying to say goodbye for the last like 30 minutes. I'm just kidding. But no, definitely, I really, honest to God. So it's a Rachael Sterling .rocks, R Sterling on all social media, which I will add to the summary of this episode.
R Sterling Comedy.
R Sterling Comedy. There we go. I will add those. I'll have my producer add those to the summary, so there'll be hyperlinks like, oh, here, let me follow her. Let me, you know, so you get all that good stuff. Yeah. And so, yeah, follow Rachel, support her shows. Don't DM her unless you're offering her a paid gig.
You DM me. I just don't often read them.
Right. When you shouldn't. You should.
Tired, you know,
I can only imagine the weird messages you get, because I get weird messages where there's fat guys that look like me and they have fetishes and they want to have sex with me, and I'm just like, how narcissistic are you? You want to fuck another fat guy that looks like you narcissistic fuck.
What are they?
I'm just a random. Sometimes I type in fat guy with a beard or fatty beard, or I don't know, like beard or something like that, and then I guess somebody typing in like hashtag beard.
You're typing it in or they're typing it in?
Well, I mean, I type it in as a hashtag because I'm talking about my beard. And then
Oh,
maybe they're typing in hashtag BEAR, like bear. And then I come up like, ooh,
mm,
look at that bear. Ooh, yeah.
mm.
I like to stick my things in him. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. That's the highest you'll ever see my
Maybe
self-esteem.
you could do a comment at bear shows.
I seriously,
You'd kill. Are you kidding me?
I would kill it
What do you
in
have?
the DM games. I'd kill it with the DMs. I'd probably get a bunch of followers, but then like, hopefully the whole crowd is
I don't
muscle
even know.
daddies.
Just like I said, like thank God, Jesus Lord, thank God for the.
No, you fucking killed it. You fucking I loved the energy. I love the advice. I love your persona. I love every time that I see you, you're very kind, you're very professional. And I wish that every comedian, regardless of gender, regardless of their experience, was as kind and awesome and easy to talk to like you are. Because like, no, seriously, you really are. And I'm not just saying that because we've been talking for 2 hours on my podcast. I'm saying this because seriously, you're really awesome. You have a lot of great shit going on, and I'm happy for you. And it's like, and I know that you're my friend because like when I see you doing all these shows, I'm not all like, oh, why is she getting to showing up? I'm like, fuck yeah, you go, girl. Fuck yeah, you fucking kill that fucking shit. You go in there, do whatever the fuck you need to do, just murder that shit, and just go on to the next one because I see you got a lot of bookings and you work really hard for them, and because you got credits. You got television credits, you got film credits. You got it, girl. And like I'm on your team. So just please continue doing what you're doing, and don't let these fucking jealous ass motherfuckers turn you into a jealous or bitter ass motherfucker. And you know what? Because I don't see that, but I'm just pointing it out there because it's just like what's fucked up is, and you've obviously been in this town longer than me, but people get so jaded and they're so out of it that like I really love the example that you give with being so kind and being so, because it's like you're so empathetic, and so that's maybe why you're so kind. It's just like, wait, I know what it's like to be.
I'm either or. I've been cursed with so much empathy, but sometimes I protect myself. I go, not my fucking problem, and I walk away. And that is the big lesson. If I was gonna have a purpose to my stand up,
right,
to convey these are my mistakes or life lessons or whatever. These are cliff notes. You don't
absolutely.
have to. You know how you avoid this? Fuck off. No, fuck off. I don't want to. No, just look at them like. I work all the time. Like you don't have to do something just because you don't have to do shit. No one owes you anything.
Right.
Which is a weird. My boyfriend does not like when I say this. Anyway, I don't know. You don't owe me anything. I don't owe you anything. Goes, well, no. And
well,
no.
I owe you kindness.
There's norms, and
right.
there's what we've become accustomed to. But actually, those are gifts that you give to another person. The kindness, the checking in, or whatever. You don't owe them shit, and they don't owe you shit. And that's why when people are kind to you, you're supposed to appreciate it as a gift.
Right. And I did and reciprocated because like that's the vibe I want before we go on stage, is to be cool, amicable, and like, it's like fuck it. Even though we're not the best friends in the world, we're brothers and sisters in that green room, and we got each other's back. We're in the Latino show. No one's gonna fuck with Rachel over here. No one's gonna fuck with Victor over here. Anybody tries to come over here, we'll fucking stab him, man. I'm just fucking around. At any rate, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to a very, very intense episode with my girl, Rachael Sterling, who's been awesome and really cool. And so please follow her, support her, go to her shows, and don't send her any fucking DMs. Thank you so much.
Send them. I just won't probably see them.
But don't, Rachel's really funny. And so just follow her, tell all your friends about it. And thank you so much for listening. And Rachael, thank you so much for joining us here at Papicock Podcast. And we'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Rachael. Thanks for listening. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Also, do your boy a favor. Tell your friends, tell your cool family members, tell your cool coworkers. Let them know about the podcast, and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and be sure to follow me on all social media, Puro Papi Pacheco, and check out my website at HispanicTitanic.com for future dates. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.